Hey Helldivers, the sudden shutdown of the Galactic War caught a ton of us off guard. At the time, there was no word or ETA from the developers on when they'd bring the liberation raids back into the game. But just recently, the team announced that the Galactic War is up and running again. Here's what they had to say. The Galactic War has resumed. We have deployed a fix to our backend, which we believe has solved the issue with liberation raids. Players can now make contributions to planet liberations and engage with the Galactic War again. Yeah, you can see that whatever bug they encountered with the Galactic War has been fixed, so we can now jump back into the game, keep liberating planets, and stop the Automaton menace from hitting our most valuable planets. No patch was needed to get the servers running again, and there shouldn't be any issues with the liberation rates moving forward. We do have a message from High Command that have stated this right here. High Command would like to inform all personnel that nothing out of the ordinary has happened in the past 24 hours. The fight for managed democracy has continued in an inspiring but entirely expected manner. Personnel who believe they have experienced or witnessed any sort of anomalous occurrences may be suffering from Illuminate mind influence and should report themselves for psychological screening immediately. So if you spot any fellow citizens or Helldivers making squid-like noises or acting undemocratically, make sure to report them to your nearest democracy officer. With that out of the way, the Galactic War is back up and running. The Automatons haven't pushed back yet. Great news for us, right? Which means we're on the track to win this major order and kill two birds with one stone. We've saved the young adults and secured the new MD8 gas mines. Incredible work, or perhaps that wild liberation bug gave us the edge. Well, it certainly most did. Nevertheless, either way, it's exciting to see us winning so far. This major order is practically in the bag. Continuing on, the question I'm sure some of you are wondering is, what's next for the Galactic War? Will they roll back the changes soon or stick with them? I think a Helldiver asked this question, but they deleted their post. Still, the community manager caught it in time and responded with this. She wrote, "Reverted? Nothing as far as I know. That's why we paused the war, so we don't have to go back and reverse a bunch of things." If we check out the Galactic War map right here, it's clear nothing has changed or been rolled back. If this were any other studio, they'd probably undo the progress and make the player base fight for the planets all over again. Thankfully, that's not happening here. The developers have no plans to revert the changes at all. Alright, let's dive into a new error code. I'm not totally sure if it's tied to the recent Galactic War server issues or something else entirely. Either way, there have been a few reports from newer players who can't log into Helldivers 2. The support team put out an article addressing it. The title reads, "Request 16, error -1, status 500. And they went on to explain in the post by saying, "We have been made aware of an issue where new players are currently unable to connect to Helldivers 2, experiencing an error message titled Request 16, error -1, status 500. We apologize for this error and assure all freshly enlisted recruits that we are working to resolve it as quickly as possible." Okay, if you're new to Helldivers 2 and recently tried logging in but couldn't, drop a comment below. Let me know if the latest server update fixed it for you. I've seen posts online from a few Helldivers mentioning the same error code popping up, but those were from 3 hours ago, so I'm not quite sure what's happening now. Moving on, CEO Shams tackled some questions yesterday. In one post, he shared his vision for a complete overhaul of armor passives, linking them to progression somehow. A Helldiver chimed in, curious about the details. Would it mean unlocking new passives as you level up? Or what exactly does he have in mind? That's what this Helldiver essentially said. Shams spotted the question and fired back with this reply. Anything really. I mean, I don't think we need to go bananas with plate systems and stuff, but we could do so much more. All personal opinions, of course. I don't go anywhere near design, besides actually sitting next to them. It's not a bad idea, but I'd love to hear from you Helldivers. What do you think about earning new passives through leveling up? Is that something you'd like to see? Would you be into that kind of progression system? Or would you prefer a separate leveling system that unlocks new passives? Or maybe something entirely different? So if you've got any ideas for progression or any thoughts about this specific topic here, feel free to drop them in the comments below and let's talk about it. Next up, we have the Galactic War to talk about. Yes, we're going to talk about it a bit more here, specifically what planets we should attack next. The best case scenario is to continue liberating the planets that the Automatons are holding onto, such as Martel. If we can push them back further, we will for sure secure a win. I mean, to be fair, it looks like we're winning already, but you never know what Joel will do next, so it's best to continue pushing along here. Speaking of Joel, I do have a feeling that he's gonna send some attacks to Becktham, which could very well happen considering Marfark's just across the road essentially, right? And they could make a direct path straight to Becktham. So there's a good chance that will happen. And if it does, I highly suggest we continue fighting them off, right? If it ends up on Becktham, just continue defending until we have secured the win. We're now going to talk about the shop items. Okay, there's some armors here that you should absolutely pick up. First off, we have the AF-52 Lockdown. This comes with advanced filtration, which pretty much gives you an 80% resistance to gas damage. If you have yet to pick up the War Bond for those passives, this one's well worth picking up. However, if you do not have enough super credits, the AF-52 Lockdown is not going to be in your favor because it costs 400 super credits. Now, the armor on the right, the AF-91 Field Chemist, might be in your favor because it's 250 super credits to purchase it, and you get the same armor passive. Unfortunately, the armor type is not the same, so if you're looking for a heavy armor type with that same passive, it's going to cost you a little bit more. Alrighty, the second page comes with the same passives, two different armor types. We have the I-44 Salamander and the I-92 Firefighter. The inflammable passive basically gives you a 75% resistance to fire damage, and it's really worth picking up. The question is, which armor type do you want? Do you want a heavy armor type or a medium? It truly depends on that. Besides the armor type, the price is practically the same unless you're purchasing the armor and the helmet. Now, the third and final page right here comes with the Peak Physique passive, or your other choice is the engineering kit. Personally, I would pick the Peak Physique. The reason why is because when you have this armor equipped and you also have the hatchet equipped, you can take out a charger by swiping its leg anywhere from 6 to 7 shots if I recall correctly. Or swipes. You get it. Tomato, tomato. Also, the other option is engineering kit. This will help you out quite a lot in terms of grenade count, and it will also reduce the recoil when you're crouched or prone. Well worth picking up too. The question is, which one? One's 250, the other's 150, so it solely depends on how much credits you have. Not to mention, what's your goal? Do you want to use melee more often, or do you want better recoil? All in all, if you were to give me a choice and I only had to pick one armor, I'll tell you which one I would pick out of this list. I would pick up the I-92 Firefighter. The reason why is because you get a 75% resistance to fire damage, and that can come in handy, especially on the bug plants when you're using a lot of napalm and some of those other fire stratagems. Now, I do have a question for you fellow Helldivers. If you had to pick one armor from this list, which one would it be and why? Let me know in the comments below and let's talk about it. We have one more conversation to go over. This time it's the QA lead. There's a Helldiver that asks, remembering fire rate thing, is it a bug? Basically, that's what he's asking. In response, the QA lead said, for support weapons, yes, that is known and still an issue. If you've noticed this as of late, you're not crazy. It's an issue. They're going to resolve it eventually. Just give them enough time, and I'm sure it will be included in a bigger patch or possibly in a hotfix. Last but not least, we have the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured in the video, all you have to do is comment down below, and that's it. The first top comment comes from SCT Ninja Strike. You wrote, everyone's talking about the review bomb cape, or whatever else, but how about the Super Earth cape? Where's my patriotic drip? That right there is a great question. How come we don't have a Super Earth cape just yet? I feel like I should modify a cape and upload it to Nexus mod. If I do, I'll be sure to let you guys know. The second top comment comes from Dawn E42, and you wrote, every super destroyer should have a library that tells you about the enemies and planet effects. Absolutely, we need something like that, to be fair, because I want to know more. I would love to know more about the lore and certain things that maybe I didn't know before. The third and final comment comes from Zealot1011, and you wrote, all the stim pistol needs is 1. A voice line spoken when using it, 2. A unique vignette at the screen edges indicating the healing effect. I have a feeling they could definitely do the second one, but the voice one, on the other hand, that might not be feasible as of right now because that does cost money and resources, right, to get people in the studio to, record the voice lines. Well, with those being said, those are the top 3 comments. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Feel free to join my Discord down below. The description is there with the links and all the sources and whatnot. I appreciate everyone stopping by, whether you're subscribed or not subscribed. I appreciate you guys commenting, checking out the videos, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and also thank you to everyone that is a member on the channel. I appreciate the support so much, and yeah, thank you again, and see you in the next one.